Hello students, in last lecture we have studied some applications of DBMS as railway reservation system, library management system, banking, and then universities and colleges, credit card transactions, social media sites. Today we are going to study advantages of DBMS. Some advantages of DBMS are reducing data redundancy, then sharing of data, data integrity, data security, privacy, backup and recovery, and development and maintenance time. Just studying all these advantages of DBMS, just watch this access file. Here I have created a database for 5 students. In MS Access, I have created a table or a database named as table 1 with the fields as roll number, student name, standard, and marks. Under roll number column, I have provided different roll numbers, and under student name, I have provided the names. Then in first record, roll number 10, student name is Mithali, standard 12th with marks 100. Then second record, roll number 11, names Priti, standard 11 and marks 98. Like this, I have created 5 records. Now, depending on these records, I have created some queries also. And with these queries, I can easily find out which students are in 11th standard, which are in 12th standards, which students having less than 30 marks, which students having greater than or equal to 80 marks. And if I am having a large database and I want to display the record of specific student, in that case also I can display it. Just go for these queries. First of all, let us display all the students from 11th standard. Run this query. You will get the output as roll number, student name, and standard. Here you will get all students from the 11th standard. We got here 3 records. Just check it in our table if it is or not. Here also we can see that only 3 students having 11th standard. Now similarly 12th standard students are only 2. Let's check it in our query. See here, only 2 students are in 12th standard. Similarly, marks. Just check our table. Here, students having marks 100, 98, 80, 40, and 20. And I want to display the student with the marks less than 30. That means only one student will be there with the marks less than 30. Let's run this. Here, you can see it. The student with marks 20 will be displayed as the output of the query marks less than 30. Then next query, marks greater than or equal to 80. As our condition is greater than or equal to 80, therefore it will include 80 marks also in our output. 80, 98, and 100. And from this table, if we want to display the specific student's record, that time we can display it either with the roll number or with the name. If there is any duplicate name in student, if there is any student duplicate name, in that case we can use the roll number to identify that student. And if still we are not sure about student's roll number, then we can search it by using the student name. Now here I want to display the record of the student Mithali. Just go for it. Here we can see that we can see the details of the student Mithali. This is actually the advantages of DBMS or database management system. Now, depending on these examples, let us study about the advantages of DBMS. First advantage is reducing data redundancy. Redundancy means duplication. If we store the same file at the multiple location, then due to this property, redundancy property of the DBMS, it will display only one file in our search record. It may happen that we can save the same file in my documents folder, on desktop, or in some specific folder also. But if we are using the DBMS or database management system, then it will show only one file in our output. It is known as the reducing data redundancy. Redundancy means duplication. Now, why it is, how it works, as database prevents, as it is prevented by the database, as there is a single database and any change in it reflected immediately. Because of this, there is no chance of encountering duplicate data. We already studied that database stores its complete database or complete files in the centralized manner. Therefore, if there is any change in that file, then it gets reflected everywhere. If any user is using the database and if any change is there, it will be notification. A specific notification is provided to the user that specific data is changed in the centralized database. Then that user can update his database. Therefore, there is no possibility of the data duplication or redundancy. Then next advantage is sharing of data. Just we have studied that database is stored centrally. Therefore, multiple users can use the same database, can operate the same database, can update the same database at a time. But the most essential thing for that is that the user must have access for that database. Then and then it can happen. The next one is data integrity. Data integrity means that the data is accurate and consistent in the database. Now, when we create any database or when we create any record, that time it is very essential to provide the accurate and consistent data in all records. If our records are proper, then we can get the proper output. The next one is the data security. Data security is vital concept in a database. Only authorized users should be allowed to access the database and their identity should be authenticated using a username and password. No else user can access the database, as that else user may not have the proper username and password. Then next one is the privacy. The privacy rule in database means only the authorized users can access a database according to its privacy constraint. Various types of privacy constraints are provided for the database, and depending on that privacy constraints, user can access the database. Different levels are provided to access the database. Any administrator of the database having all the rights to access the database. At the same time, users may not have all the rights to access that database. For example, some networking sites also give access to some users at specific level. Complete access is not given to the users, but complete access is at the administrator. It is only for the privacy reason. Then backup and recovery. Database management system automatically takes its backup, and if any problem happens, then we can recover that data. User don't need to take the backup periodically, just like the MS Word or MS Access, MS Excel. In Word and Excel, we have to take the backup manually, but in MS Access or in database management system itself, it is having its own property take the backup. Moreover, it also restores the database after a crash or system failure to its previous condition. Now we know that database system is stored in a centralized manner. And if the system crashes or if hard disk gets failure, then we can recover that data at the previous condition. That means where we have set the last point or set all the conditions for that DBMS, at that from that position we can recover that data. Therefore, it is this facility, backup and recovery, it is very important facility for the database. If you are using the database by using the DBMS or any else pattern data, backup is very essential. The next one is the development and maintenance time. Development time is very less in DBMS, and just we have studied that it is having its own backup and recovery facility. Also, it is having its own security, its own data integrity. Due to all these things, it is very simple to maintain the database for the administrator. Database administrator having all the rights to maintain and to develop the database. And these are some of the advantages of the database management system. In next lecture, we will study data types in DBMS.